Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to another exciting episode of Glass Academy Webinars 2024, where with each episode we explore the fascinating world of glass. Glass has many facets to it, and with its latest advancements, it's becoming a go to material serving diverse sectors of the industry. Today's focus is on one of the most pivotal sectors in the built environment, the commercial office design. As we all know, the workspace is where the majority of the global workforce spend their day. So, what does it take to design an inspiring and functional office? And how does glass, one of the most versatile materials, play an essential role in shaping these spaces? We are about to find out. Without further ado, let's dive into today's topic, shaping modern workspaces, the power of glass in office design. I'm delighted to introduce our expert speakers today. First, we have architect Avinash K. Francis, associate and senior architect at Varsha and Pradeep Architects, Chennai. He joined this
Good morning.
esteemed firm in 2007 and has played a pivotal role in its growth and success since then. His rich experience spans diverse projects ranging from academic campuses, industrial works, commercial projects, and interiors. Outside of architecture, he's also a passionate biker. Joining him is Ms.Sneha, category manager at Saint-Gobain. She holds an MBA from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and a BTech degree from PFG College of Technology. Sneha began her career at Saint-Gobain as a product manager for mirrors and has evolved into the role of category manager for the interior product portfolio. Her journey reflects her ability to adapt and grow within the company, leveraging her strong educational background and strategic acumen. So, we will start with you, Ms. Neha. Before we dive into today's topic, with your experience working in the glass industry, you deal with one of the most versatile and durable building materials that has stayed relevant for so long. So, we would like to listen from you what factors, according to you, are driving the increased demand for glass in modern architecture?
Sure. Thank you for the introduction, Shruti. So, what I think is that the increased demand for glass is driven by its versatility, as you mentioned, the aesthetic appeal, and also the ability to enhance natural light, and it is more suitable in an energy efficient building. Modern architecture is increasingly embracing biophilic design, where glass is used to create a seamless connection between the outdoor and the indoor environments, thereby bringing nature into everyday spaces. In addition to that, glass is also an environmentally responsible material that aligns with the growing focus on sustainability.
Great. Thank you so much for the answer. How does your company ensure to meet the diverse demands of different industries, especially commercial spaces?
So, as we are all aware of the changing trends, right? The trends in the market are extremely dynamic, and also the requirements. We are backed by a strong research and innovation team based in India and also various locations globally, who are constantly working on new products and enhancements, and we continue to invest in cutting edge manufacturing technologies. What sets us apart from the other players in the market is that we launch products based on the needs of the specific markets rather than having a one for all approach.
That's great. Thank you so much for these insights. Now that we've discussed the growing demand for glass, let's dive a little bit deeper. There are many innovative glass products that are gaining attention in the market. But for our audience to understand better, let's focus on one product today, lacquer glass. As a category manager from Saint-Gobain, could you share with us what makes lacquer glass stand out? We'd love to hear more about its key features and benefits through a quick presentation.
Sure. I'd like to share my screen and take you all through a portfolio that we have, amongst the interior products that we have, specifically lacquered glass, and what are the benefits it offers, and how I, as a category manager, visualize it being used in various office spaces.
Sure.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes.
So on an average, we spend 70% of our time indoors, be it at our residences or our workspaces. Now, what are the trends that we look at in these spaces is the urge to have a home office or a hybrid setup, the increase in the growth of co-working collaborative spaces, especially post the pandemic, and rapid urbanization where you see smaller renovation cycles. Homeowners are looking for renovation once in 3 or 5 years rather than the longer cycles that were a trend earlier. And also the ongoing renovations of public spaces, be it government spaces or private owned spaces like malls, and also the focus on sustainable and comfortable living in interiors. So, with these trends that we have witnessed in the market, we had also done an extensive research with the customers, both residential and commercial occupants. Now, the audience and we are all aware that how we look at having a reflection of our personality in the interior spaces. We want to design our own space. So, rather than going for something which is available off the shelf and just trying to fit into my space, I want to design my space so that it's a statement of it's like a personality statement, I would say, and also the focus on durable and safer materials. Now, let's say there is a repair in an office, right? The hassle that the occupants have to go through, or the company has to go through in terms of identifying another temporary office space or shutting down till the repair work is complete. Instead of this, they look for more durable and safer materials to reduce incidents like this and focus on hygiene, modern, and sustainable spaces compared to other materials. Now, market in general in terms of lifestyle, plus what is it that the customers are looking for. With this as our problem statement, Saint-Gobain has come up with a product by name ColorMax. As the name says, the value proposition is the maximum number of colors. We look at customized colors. Let's say you're designing an office for a brand, right? They would want to fit in their brand colors and brand elements into the office space.
Right.
Whereas if they are limited by the number of colors of lacquered glass, let's say you're trying to fit them into 20 colors, they would have to compromise on what glass has to offer and probably would prefer another material like, let's say, laminates to fit into their space. So why should they compromise when it comes to glass? So that's the reason we wanted to have a product wherein the customer can choose the color of their choice from the RAL palette and have it in their space. Now, when you increase the number of colors possible in lacquered glass, that leads to infinite applications. Whereas in the earlier days, probably lacquered glass was limited to just walls, but now with color palette, you can use it in multiple applications. It is also available in a durable or a temperable format. Now, you must have seen various campaigns that are run by Saint-Gobain where we say that, look for the toughened glass logo. Now, while we are promoting toughened glass in the exteriors, we do not want to compromise the safety of the occupants in the interiors, and that is what has led us to push this property in interior glass as well. And ColorMax is more customer-centric product. So our focus is to make it quickly available by having manufacturing plants closest to the market, where we are looking at manufacturing facilities in multiple metro cities so that the product is made quickly available to the market. And of course, all of this without compromising on the world-class quality which Saint-Gobain is known for. Another important point is that lacquered glass is available in multiple thicknesses. So the market earlier, the past 1 decade or so, where we had lacquered glass in Saint-Gobain portfolio, and also there were local players in the market, it was available in only 2 thicknesses like 4 and 6, which also restricted the application of lacquered glass. But now ColorMax is available in 6 thicknesses, which also promotes the ability to use glass in infinite applications. So I would like to point out an important factor about ColorMax, right? The quality that we maintain and the manufacturing methodology. Now, when we think of lacquered glass, our audience base being the AID network, we are all aware that lacquered glass can be available anywhere, but it's not just about the color that you see, but how is the product manufactured, which again influences the quality of the product and the lifetime of the product. It is not manufactured in a local setup, which is available in every other glass outlet, but this is manufactured in a world-class manufacturing setup. So I would like to take a couple of minutes to play a video which puts forth what is the exact difference between ColorMax and the products which are locally available in the market. I'd like to play a video. Let me know if
When buying colored glass, you can either settle for an ordinary piece of glass, or you can choose something truly extraordinary. Why settle for ordinary when you can have something truly extraordinary? Saint-Gobain color mats, crafted to be extraordinary.
Yeah, So this is our brand campaign that we have for this product, where you think of a color, you choose the color, and you get that particular color. And it is not just about color. The video that we just saw explains the importance of having to conform to certain standards, and ColorMax specifically conforms to EN 16477 as a standard. So it's important to note that lacquered glass is not just about the color, but it comes with quality as well. So when we look at how is it that we service color max, right? Let's say an architect like Mr. Avinash is choosing a particular color that he wants to fit in terms of designing for a particular brand. Then our teams usually submits a sample. Let's say he's picking a color from the RAL palette. Our team submits a glass sample in that particular color within about 3 to 4 days. And once the sample is validated, that is when we place an order and go for production. Because it is also important to understand that a color that you see on paper is not equivalent to what you will see on glass. That's the reason we always ensure that a sample is also validated by our client. Now, with that being said about the product, what are the applications? I was also talking about that, the various thicknesses and colors enables us to use it in infinite applications. Let me list down a couple of those specifically in office interiors. Just before I delve into that, an important point to note that it is available in toughened as well. This was a major challenge that we had in the market for the past couple of years, and that has also hindered the usage of lacquered glass. And now we are addressing that problem as well, and also giving safer interiors to the customers. Now, when we look at what are the applications in office spaces, right? Starting off with your reception walls, which is the highlight of any office. That's what we believe in. So you can customize it with your logo using a digital printing methodology, or you can fit in, various brand colors into the reception wall. And also, when you look at usage of lacquered glass in cabins, where you would want to write. So we look at the functionality element, where lacquered glass can be used as a writing surface. You can use it in a lighter color, like let's say the one in the image, or you can go for whites or beige, and you can look at functional cabin walls. Then we have these workstation partitions, which usually we would see in fabric in the outside market, but using glass makes it writable. And you can also have a value addition of magnetic, so that you are also able to use the magnetic property there and have your sticky notes or other elements in your workstation partitions. Then comes the tabletops, which makes it much more aesthetic rather than having, let's say a wood or a laminate which tends to chip off in the corners due to regular usage. You can have tabletops. Breakout zone. Why would anyone want to go to a breakout zone to break the monotony? So let's make it colorful using color max. Then you have this pantry tabletops. You would want offices to be the ones which attract least maintenance. So glass calls for that least maintenance tabletops. Washroom spaces. We would, because of the wide variety of people going to use that washroom, right? You would want hygiene to be the most important factor, and glass, being a non-porous and a non-absorbent surface, provides that. And then you have your urinal partitions, which, when lacquered glass is used, makes it stain free. Yeah, that's it from my end, Shruti.
Thank you so much, Sneha. It was very insightful to see first the video and then understand what exactly lacquer glass and what are the various, shades available in there. Now we'll quickly move to Mr. Avinash. So now that we have explored glass and one of its versatile products, let's look at it from an architect's lens. Architects and designers are key stakeholders in the use of glass. So, Architect Avinash, with your extensive experience in commercial projects, what key factors do you consider when selecting glass for high-rise or large-scale commercial buildings?
Before jumping into that, I also backdated and I wanted to do a little bit of research on how glass became such a huge aspect in terms of design as well. Early in the 19th centuries, like say early 1970s or 20s, there was a revolution which happened in the US, right? Most of the architects refrained from using a lot of glass. The reason being, it wasn't a performance-based material. It was just a plain glass element. They wanted to basically limit the level of light or heat penetration, or during in winter times, even the cold, harsh weather needs to be cut off. That said, one of an entrepreneur, he basically came across. That's how inventions happen, right? So I believe during his visit to the Arctic, he came across what do you say, insulated glass. Okay, and that's the whole story of how glass, because it had to be insulated by default if it had to be used in high-rise buildings or as an external element, glazing element for any building as such. So that immediately gave architects, designers freedom to basically place huge panels of glass on the external facade, uh, combining it with different elements, or say span rail, they had to do a kind of a textured glass to cover the edges of the slabs and stuff like that, or structural elements, and maximize penetration of light when it's required, and cutting off heat and cold, harsh weather during the winter. So that was a kind of a brief that I wanted to give. So that an invention which just happened by chance pushed the whole, what do you say, the limit of using a wonderful product like glass.
Yes.
Otherwise, till then it was just used to very limited extent, small window panels or small openings, skylights and stuff like that. And thankfully, it has slowly trickled down, and then we in the Indian context also have somehow managed to use it extensively, but still we need to get there. There are certain buildings which are mindlessly designed also, which I hope the fraternity may agree with. But that said, it's a phenomenal product, and the attributes what basically add to the reason why a designer even goes for a product like glass is what I had explained, to maximize visibility. And I think even Sneha touched based on a biophilic design to basically have a kind of a connect with the outdoors, which lacks a lot nowadays. And it enhances that whole look and feel of a space.
Definitely.
So glass, types of glass, we have the normal anneal, we have a toughened glass, then we have insulated glass, we have glasses with a double glaze system with an air gap. The same system is used even extensively in indoor areas called clean rooms and cold rooms. There it's used with argon gas, a specific kind of gas, so that there's even no dust penetration which happens there, because we need to maintain a certain level of hygiene, class 1200. And again, coated glass, we have textured, we have structured glass, we have a glass infused with steel mesh to basically give it that structural stability and strength. And then we have performance glass, we have e-glass, which is basically coated with a kind of special chemical coating so that it doesn't allow a lot of heat to come in, and it increases the performance and efficiency of the system within the space, the MEP, mainly the HVAC efficiency. And interiors, as Sneha had touched upon, we have coated, which is lacquered glass. Lacquered is their product, so we have coated or lacquer, and now it comes in toughened as well. And stained glass, of course, has been around for ages. Stained glass, nothing else but just it's stained with a kind of a color and a shade, so that it creates a different kind of an aesthetic, and allows a different, what do you say, it creates an illusion with sunlight, and the sun passes through it. Glass, and prior to the use of glass, especially in the Western countries, they felt that, okay, they were not very confident of the glass till the double glaze unit came in, and then the different systems of glazing, stick glazing, curtain, spider, and all this stuff. They used to use a lot of glass bricks. So they felt that it structurally was much more stable. But that said, it was completely opaque and textured. So there was absolutely zero visibility. It just gave that level of that light bit of glow or the sunlight passing through it, but there was absolutely no connect. Still, that thing was lacking a lot. So innovation in that definitely helped and pushed designers to use it very effectively in design as such. So yeah, I think I've covered most of the types of glasses. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I think laminated glass elements. So laminated glass is basically two layers of glass with a PLB layer in between. So it helps in acoustics. It helps in. It's actually one of the most safest glasses. They are mostly used even in the automobile sector. They're used in extensively used in glazing, where we need very minimal framework, where we can use spider glazing as a fitting there. So in case of a crash or a breakage, also it stays in place. It doesn't disintegrate and can cause harm to anybody. And of course, there are a lot of specialized glasses also. We have impact proof, glass proof, and bulletproof. So it's limitless.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's no end to it as such, and it's just different technologies which are being put into place, and we get an end product as that. Yes.
Great. Awesome. That was like a quick recap of whatever is, used and how glass can be so versatile. Moving on to today's topic, office spaces. Architect Avinash, with your extensive experience, could you share how you approach the planning and design of different areas within an office? Specifically, what characteristics do you prioritize in the interiors to ensure that each space, from workstations to collaborative areas, effectively support the functionality and culture of an organization?
Sure. So before getting into my presentation, I would just give a quick briefing. So fortunately, actually, I had an opportunity to work on two back-to-back offices of Saint-Gobain as well. So it just happened to be, and we just finished, and just a couple of weeks back, we handed over their corporate office in Egmore, and we are doing one in Guindy as well, another facility, which is about 45,000 square feet of space. So I'll actually touch base on that. Yes. So the role of glass and design, that's actually the topic. Attributes and salient features of glass as a material in interior spaces. Basically is to showcase and display strengths and technological advancements of glass. This is what is basically the layout. Yeah. So this is actually the layout plan of the corporate office, which we recently handed over to Saint-Gobain at their Egmore location. So we have a reception, which by default is there for any office as such. The screen is a bit of a, I'm able to see.
Yeah, we are able to see.
You're able to see, right? You're able to see the entire screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is basically the reception. As you enter the office, we have slightly innovated here, and we have created a hexagonal cluster. The derivative of that was basically an extract from their logo, which works on a certain structural principle as well. The policies of their company and the principles also work the same way. So we actually derived from that, and the push was, this was specifically designed for their HoHo team, which is handling the lacquered glass as one of their products, as well as the IT team. And the brief was, the client wanted a lot of collaboration. So if you notice, we have these hexagonal workstations, 120-degree. So people can have crossover interactions from a team on the other end, as well as they can just turn them seats around and they can have a quick kind of a discussion within the team as well. And that's what it was. Quickly moving on, and the rest is all standard stuff. We have a few meeting rooms, we have a few cabins, we have a cafeteria space, which is highlighted there. I'll just jump into the attributes. So this, as even Sneha had touched base, that there's a lot of, nowadays people use a lot of lacquered glass in the reception space. So here, I would actually tell her, I think probably she may not be a little bit upset about it, but yeah, we have not used a lot of lacquered glass in the reception. There was a reason behind it, because we wanted, we have used mirrored glass. If you see on the right side, we have some kind of a content on a mirror. It's a smoke mirror, rose gold, I think, to be exact, coated with rose gold tint. And the one right in the front is actually not a printing or something. This is actually a concept view. So I'll quickly jump to the actual photograph. Okay, this is the office. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, so you enter, you just step out of the elevator. Towards your right-hand side, you have your reception table, and behind the lacquered glasses serve as a very good background for their logo, is their corporate logo. It completely enhances and uplifts the entire look and feel of the space. We
Right.
kept the rest very minimal. We use lighting as an element here. Towards your extreme right, you can notice a reflection of the logo. That's the smoke tinted rose gold mirror. And this is a new concept. I think we just pushed our barrier, and glass as such, the actual meaning of biophilic, because unfortunately most of the corporate offices are located in these concrete blocks. Many of them, there's no thought put into it. It's devoid of daylight. So even if you look out also, we see another building next to it. So we were just struggling to think how to bring that natural element. So this is nothing else but a terrarium. I think you people must be aware of. It's
Yeah.
quickly explain. It's an aquarium without fish and water. It's actual plants. It's real plants. And our horticulturists, what they have done is they have sourced out plants, exotic plants, way back from the Amazon rainforest. So most of these plants are they're brought from there, and they're real plants. We have a complete irrigation automated system. It's enclosed with a special diamond clear coated, ETC coated glass from Saint-Gobain. This is another product of theirs, and the whole system is made from their shower cubicle system. So it's a seamless panel. So you see seamless panels on all sides
Right.
with just
Right.
patch fittings, and it's completely sealed and waterproof. So that's how we treated this. And there's a play, like you may not make out, but there's a lot of mirror also on top of the portal and stuff like that. So that creates a level of illusion and transparency.
Right.
Yeah. I'll just jump into the next. Again, this is the next level, the next layer, which we felt that we need to have a space to highlight their products. End of the day, it's designed for Saint-Gobain.
Right.
We said that they asked us, can you suggest a space or a location for highlighting our products, or that being double up, it'll double up as a space for say senior top management to have town halls, or to make any kind of an announcement, or just for something as simple as somebody celebrating their birthday and stuff. So we thought of something like this, and this is the actual image. So here also, if you see, there's a lot of glass. The glass at the floor, the elevated floor is basically nothing else but master glass. It's a laminated glass, and it's banded as well. So this is, I think, a very old concept. Most of the high-end pubs and all this stuff, or spaces where they have these discotheques, they have these elevated glass floors. It's a similar concept, and all around, if you see, you see a palette of a green, a kind of a very sea green, turquoise green.
Yes.
Just to quickly highlight, obviously this be a place being designed for Saint-Gobain. We thought we have to enhance their branding also needs to be enhanced in some way at the subconscious level. So here we have highlighted all this. There are 6 pillars. Like you see one of these pillars, there are 6 pillars like these. So we thought, let's make something interesting out of them. So that's what, if you see, we have treated them as 6 canopies, like 6 trees. And,
Okay.
and they exactly are synonymous with the 6 principles of Saint-Gobain. And even if you go back to their logo, they have these 6 colors. So each column is clad with their specific RAL color, as Sneha rightly had highlighted that possibility has come in. So the whole process actually got started with this project. So we had started working on this project last year, late last year. So that's when and the entire team supported us, and they said, sir, we can start a complete range that we can provide customized colors for corporates, just like how we are doing this for our office as such.
Right.
And again, glass is used extensively as a privacy screen, as how Sneha had highlighted earlier in her presentation. So all the workstations also, we collaborated with the workstation vendor, and we have seamlessly integrated that as well. And it's not visible in this, but the entire tabletops will have a lacquered glass kind of a panel placed over it to again enhance aesthetics and make use of that. So that's the use of glass here extensively. Again, it's one of so the interesting thing is I wanted to show the concept view and the actual. So that gives a kind of a purview that how we have achieved what we had conceived, realized it. So this is how it came out to be. So again, this is another zone with and based on another corporate color, and we created these nice lounge spaces, breakout spaces. So if you see, it's completely highlighted with a different color of lacquered glass within, and the ceiling is slightly different. The design is slightly different. So it's plonk bang in between the clusters so that people can get in and use that space. Again, another one of the views. This is another color zone. Here, if you see, we have slightly, we obviously used on the column, we used on the workstations. And if you notice, we have alternately used them in the glass partitions as well. So this being a wall of a cafeteria, this divides the office and the cafeteria space. Fortunately, we didn't have a lot of space here because the base builder didn't provide us an open, secluded space for the cafeteria. So we had to put it within the office space. Had no choice for that. So the challenge was acoustics. People, when they get into a cafeteria space, you know how it is, right?
Right.
So
The noise and
we had to isolate sound. So there we have worked with again Saint-Gobain's team. Their team is called Clipper. They have a system called Clipper. It's a demountable glass partition system with a very sleek aluminum frame. So here we have one of the double glaze system, which is about 80 mm thickness, where we have 10 mm, 10 mm glass, and we have a gap of about 2 inches. So here I had again worked with the lacquered glass team, Colormax team, and we had suggested that why don't we go with a few panels in glass lacquered glass. So that's what we have done here. Again, a concept view of another zone, and this is how it came out to be.
Oh, wow.
So the same color, exactly the same color. So that's the concept. It grows out and slowly diffuses in the ceiling, and then the same thing continues in the workstations as well. These are some of the lounge, and this is how it's come out to be. Again, a lacquered glass panel plonked in between a workstation space, in a cabin space setup. So this side it's color to add that color and vibrancy, and from the inside it's a writable surface. So it doubles up as a dual usage as well. So can do interesting things. We can mount posters on top of the lacquered glass as well. As she said, it's all magnetic, so just you need to use magnetic tags, and that can be done. And that's what the plan is all about. Again, in a cabin setup. So this was what we had conceived, but fortunately there were a few changes in between. So we limited. I'll go to the next view. Yeah. So this is how it turned out to be. We have glass, okay, but we limited the use of glass because the end user wanted a little bit of privacy as well. So we went with that. So then we have writable surfaces, and then all the other products, if you see, just to quickly touch base, the ceiling, everything is from Saint-Gobain's umbrella only. This is an interesting this thing. We have a multi-purpose room, a meeting room with a movable furniture setup, and this entire glass is from Dorma, integrated with Saint-Gobain's specialized glass double glaze system, and it's collapsible. So it can be collapsed and knocked down and used as a single room. If not, it can be placed in place, and it gives you easily 42 dB plus of STC.
Right.
Again, we have used lacquered glass tabletops for the cafeteria so that it's easy to maintain and clean, and illuminated glass panels in the ceiling as well. So this is how it turned out to be. So some of the glass panels are lacquered, and here, if you notice in the far end, we have a very, very colorful a pantry counter, and all the shutters are also made with lacquered glass. So that's a much simpler system. We just need to have a simple aluminum frame. They use a special adhesive and they glue it onto it, and you're ready to go. There's absolutely no requirement for a PLB shutter, and all that complications are not required. So it looks also nice and neat, and it adds a lot of vibrancy as well. This is again another office which we are doing for Saint-Gobain, and similar kind of a concept, but of course the design is completely different. It's a much bigger office, again, same hexagonal cluster. And again, here, the similar concept is what we are pushing through. We have the same terrarium. And here, the entire table is made with lacquered glass. And we are planning to etch the company's logo onto it and illuminate it from the back.
Nice.
All the tabletops in lacquered glass, all the panels in glass, columns again to be clad with glass. So this is a similar kind of a concept which we are pushing through here. I'll just quickly run through these. And glass extensively used as breakout spaces, as pods, so that in case somebody wants to take a quick call, can use that space rather than occupying a much bigger meeting room. And here, a slight different take on on a cabin. We struggled a little bit initially to convince the management, but then they were also game. So it's coming out quite well. We have these elliptical shaped cabins plonked in the center of any cluster around a column, because a column end of the day is not a very pretty thing also. So this, we have added that kind of some purpose to it. A typical meeting room, a cabin with glass and lacquered glass. This is a lab which setup which we have here. Again, we are using a lot of glass as well here. And this is the CEO's cabin. This again, of course, the glass, the only glass which is used here is again a very interesting product from Saint-Gobain's range. They have something called a fire rated glass. It gives minimum 2 hours of fire rating, and the product is called Vetrotech. So there's this being a refuge area, it was mandatory as per fire norms to have a fire rated partition system, whatever it may be, maybe glass or it can be solid. So we pushed that we should have glass. So
Right.
a lot of nice, because this is a north side. It will be a crime to not allow north light to get into office space.
Correct.
So we pushed the budget, and then we got the entire glass replaced with fire rated glass. So they were kind enough to do that for us. So that's the visual which you'll get. So imagine if you don't have glass towards your on the left hand side, you won't get to enjoy the entire ambience of the refuge area.
Correct.
This is the typical cabin cluster is what we are planning to do. So this is how exactly it's coming out to be. So we have integrated lacquered glass within these curved panels for writable surface. These are the tele booths which we are using. Some innovative use of glass in terms of shelves. We have done a lot of bent glass there. And just a quick run on with all the projects which we have done other than Saint-Gobain, where we have extensively used a lot of glass. The one right at the top to the left extreme is again a Saint-Gobain corporate office which was done about 13 years back, wherein we have extensively used glass in the tabletops. And way back then, lacquered was a very, very new concept. So unfortunately, we have not used lacquered then. But this office itself was a kind of a front runner for a lot of things. So we did a lot of innovation in glass here. And the one in between, we have done pergolas in glass. So we thought, let's do that. And the one to the extreme left, we have done some glass panels in the ceiling as well. The same being in the cafeteria, we have tabletops in glass. Again, lacquered glass in the CEO cabin for Sulekha. The entire cladding is done with glass there. So these are some of the interesting ways we have used glass.
Very nice.
And yes, so enhance branding. It brings a lot of vibrancy. It gives a lot of flexibility. So that's how we looked at it. And I think it's become a no-brainer nowadays to use colored glass as a privacy screen, because easy to maintain. It adds a lot of life into the space. So that definitely helps us. Again, just a few of the projects that we have recently done where we have extensively used glass innovatively. These are some of the demo spaces that we have planned for Saint-Gobain. So this is their system, their glass partition, which we have extensively used now in their products. And this is a writable lacquered glass, which comes as a ready-made product, and it has a magnetic property as well to it. Again, they have a UPVC system, which we are also using extensively, and then integrating glass with their false ceiling as well, where it can be backlit. These are some of their products. I think this is an interesting product Saint-Gobain has, which we are pushing to use somewhere, but the only downside is it's scaringly expensive. It's Privalite. It's a switchable glass, so you can see that when it's off, it's transparent. When it's on, it's opaque. It's a very, very interesting product from them. And these are some performance glasses which I have used from their end for some of their projects. And that's the end of my presentation. I would just like to add a few other points also, which the reason why I'm adding it is, of course, the context that we are interacting with senior, but it's not just that. But the thing is, as a company, as a solution provider, the one thing that I really appreciate about them is that they're open to ideas, and they're not stuck up that no, it's not possible, or it's going to be difficult to do and stuff like that. Like last year, we did a interesting project for First Solar in Chennai, in next to Sriperumbudur. So we did their their office, their production office. They had a very interesting requirement. They said that we like this marble, we like the marble which is laid in the flooring, but how can we, what do you say, clad the entire wall with it? Of course, it's a no-brainer. We can do it, right? But the marble which is selected for the flooring is like 3,000 square feet. So there were budget constraints. So then I was thinking, why don't we use glass? Okay, but the glass is then how are we going to do it? Because then glass, we stick it, we apply a sticker at the back and we do a stud. Fine, that's a no-brainer. We can do that. But then I had started having interactions with the lacquered glass team. They gave me a solution. They said, "Sir, we can customize printing," and they delivered. And I think the clients also were very happy, and actually came out quite well.
Nice.
And nobody was able to find out the difference because they were huge panels of glass. So, and it looked exactly like the safari or marble is which we wanted, and that was something very interesting that came out of that. And then they got back to me and said, "Sir, now based on this, we are now able to customize printing. We have figured out the issues that we had. It was a learning process for us also. And so now any corporate requirement, like say they want to print logo, they want to print, as how Sneha has said, right, any kind of content that can be done." So that was something nice which came out. And been interacting with them on a lot of things, because day in and day out I've been interacting with various teams in Saint-Gobain. So they have all the products. They have glass, they have gyprock, drywall systems, acoustic, ecophone, the works. I think they've left, right, and center been acquiring a lot of companies also, internal chemical components and all. So I was saying that you need to have an acoustic product in glass. Of course, you have a double glazed laminated glass and all, but that is acoustics only at one part of it, which isolates sound, right? It doesn't help in absorption. Then immediately that raised a question that why can't we do that? And I've also posed a question to their team saying that why can't we have to look at lacquered glass only. We have to look at a coated glass. Obviously, a transparent glass will not help. We can have a layer of acoustics behind a lacquered glass, and we can have micro pores in the lacquered glass itself. So it doubles up as a kind of an aesthetic, kind of a glass cladding. At the same time, it helps in sound absorption also. So that's the whole thing. I think we're planning to have a kind of a meeting with the R&D head as well in the coming weekend. So this is one of the points which we are going to discuss with them. We are working on certain products which will help in enhancing that as well. Yes, that's from my end.
That's actually great. Thank you so much, Architect Avinash, for this wonderful presentation on the role of glass in design. So we observed so many glass products and how it can be super versatile with the applications in office interiors, including some of the usage in columns, pillars, etc. As we are coming to the end of the webinar, Ms. Sneha, could you quickly share some installation techniques with us? A few tips on how the techniques would help or be a great takeaway for the audience today.
Sure. So we've seen some of the applications presented by Architect Avinash, right, where it is more like a wall cladding. So the usual methodology which the market is aware of is to install lacquered glass on plywood, that you have a flat surface, you install a 12 plywood, post which you go ahead with silicon, a neutral silicon installation of lacquered glass. But for the interest of time, what I would do is I would want to focus on an installation methodology without plywood. How can you install glass directly on the wall? We do have a system for that. I would like to share my screen and play a video which shows us what is the system and also the process. So the entire methodology, the system is called SGG Planning Clip. It's a part of our glassmate range, which is used to install lacquered glass without the usage of plywood. Yeah, so Shruti, just to summarize, right, we have seen three types of clips where you use J1 clip at the bottom and then an I clip between glasses and J2 at the top. So this gives us a seamless installation look like the one that you get with silicone, right? It's going to be visible in only 1 mm, that too from a very close distance. Otherwise, this is the simplest methodology that you can have without having a plywood backing. You just have to ensure that the undulation on the wall is minimal, as mentioned in the video, like plus or minus 10 mm at the max. And this would enable you to install lacquered glass in a very simple manner.
That's that's great. With this, we come to the end of yet another enlightening webinar with our experts from different walks who shed light on the various aspects of glass, from it being a versatile product to its diverse role in enhancing the quality of designing spaces to a peek into its installation techniques. Thank you, Ms. Neha and Architect Avinash, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and expertise with us today. And to our audience, we hope you found the discussions as enlightening, as inspiring as I did. Once again, on behalf of all of us at Glass Academy and Ethos Empowers, a huge thank you to you and the two of you. And we deeply appreciate you for taking out your valuable time to join with us today. Thank you so much for joining with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for the opportunity.